In five, four, three, two, one. Hey all, and welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank, and I'm joined by Jonathan
Hey, hey, yo.
and Squeaks.
Squeaks.
Uh, before we get started, I want to address one thing, podcast-wise. We are now ad-supported, of course. You guys have been hearing those Audible ads, and we have two additional ads going to be coming up. Um, we will only be doing one ad per episode, so that's my guarantee to you guys. Only one ad per episode, so you're not, just swamped by these things. And the next two are going to be the other two companies we're working with are video game related, so that's going to be really fun for you. And of course fun for us. But because we're ad supported now, we're gonna go ahead and close down our Patreon. We really appreciate those who have been supporting us. Some of you have been around since the beginning. I just don't feel comfortable being like, listen to this ad and give us money each month. And so if you guys want like that extra geek freakness in your life, which of course you all do, join us on Discord where we're always chatting and whatnot. So just hang out with us on Discord is a good alternative to Patreon. All right, Squeaks, what have you been playing? What have you been watching?
What I've been playing is a little bit of Star Wars Squadrons, which I'm having a
Nice.
blast of, and also I went back to play some Sonic Forces. I felt like I need a little bit more
Ooh,
Sonic in my life, so I went back. I'm starting to play that again.
I was playing Sonic Mania this
Uh,
morning, so yeah, props.
see,
Yeah.
there you go. Watching wise, I just finished within less than 24 hours the Hill House, The Haunting of Bly
Bly.
Manor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
How was that
Yeah.
one?
Uh, I think the story was great. It's the only thing that hooked me into it, but
Hmm.
not as good as the first season they did of Hill House because
Right.
they took out a lot of that spooky eeriness to the show, and that's what one thing that hooked me with the original season. So not as good as the first one, but a great story.
Okay, that's good to know. I
Yeah,
still have to watch
yeah,
it, so it's definitely on my list. Uh,
yeah, really good.
are you far enough on Squadrons to give it a quick review?
Like 4 hours in out of a 10-hour campaign,
Okay,
so I don't
we'll
know.
we'll wait.
That's
We'll do it. We'll do it another week
yeah,
then. Okay.
yeah.
John, what about you, man? What are you playing? What are you watching?
I haven't been playing anything, honestly, over the last couple weeks, but I
Oh,
am
slacker.
watching. I know. Watching a lot of Star Trek, though. My goal, I was thinking about if I'm gonna watch, I want to watch every episode of Star Trek produced,
Right.
anything with a Star Trek title, which is ambitious, no doubt, because there's a lot of content. But I'm like, man, if I'm gonna go through and watch every episode of a certain kind of show, I should be documenting something, make some kind of review of each episode or something like that. So yeah, I'm not sure if I should do like a synopsis of each episode or just a rating of each episode, something like that. But I'm gonna figure something out. But I'm gonna start with the original series and
Oh
work my way
man.
through all of them. It's gonna be probably next 3 or 4 years probably.
If you need
We'll
any
see. See how it
assistance with
goes.
that, I'm 100% on board with this idea, man.
Oh yeah,
I'll rewatch all of them, and of course, there's always like, well, we could record an episode for each of them, but that's a lot of work, so I'm not saying that. But
yeah. That'll take forever.
we know how that is. Maybe we could do one for each season or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, playing the Pikmin 3 demo because it's the Pikmin 3 Deluxe, which is on the Switch. The demo's available for everybody. Check that out. It's been a lot of fun. It's my first Pikmin game, and I'm really liking it. Actually, I think this was something I should be pick. I'm gonna pick it up once it's fully on release, which is later in
It's awesome.
October. Watching wise, I watched the Cowboys lose today, so I'm really sad. No, they won today, but we lost Dak Prescott,
Normal.
so really we lost. Anyways, what else have I been watching? I don't know, just kind of this and that, really, kind of bouncing around a lot. Oh, Fargo's really good, guys. This season of Fargo's really good with Chris Rock. Yeah, Chris Rock. Really good. Can't suggest it enough. So that's about it. Okay, let's move on to the news. Rambo joins Mortal Kombat, and Squeaks, we're looking at you for this. Rambo is going to be voiced by Sly Stallone in this. We're also getting Rain and Melina, and this is kind of the third of these 80 action heroes that are joining the team. How do you think Rambo's gonna do, Squeaks?
I think he's gonna. I'm a little nervous because I feel like he might play out as Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping, and we've been getting a lot of characters with guns in Mortal Kombat. So I feel hopefully he doesn't get just drawn into this. Okay, he's the same as these characters that have been releasing.
Yeah.
Um, so that's my fear of it. I don't really have anything too positive yet because I don't. Obviously, we only got a trailer, so I never.
Right.
Once we have the gameplay trailer revealed, then I'll start speaking some positives. But hopefully, he does differentiate himself from the releases that we have been in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Rain and Melina? Are you familiar with them?
Yeah, I'm super excited for Melina coming back. The character designs have been a little bit more realistic with this one. this Mortal Kombat than the others. So it was kind of neat to see her in this new style. Rain is awesome because we haven't seen him in a while, so that's cool. But I'm a more of a Melina fan than I am a Rain, so I'm more excited about her out of the three coming out.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could pick anybody else, kind of 80s oriented, early 90s, you know, you're excited for this. Who would you add to the roster?
Well, if Adventure had a name, it'd be Indiana Jones.
Oh wow, I didn't even
Really?
think about that.
I want
That's
to
a
see
good idea.
Indiana Jones. I want to see what that motherfucker just whip out that fucking big whip and just start smacking bitches. How many fatalities can you make him just ripping body parts off with that whip?
Right.
Oh man, think if he had a fatality where he like ripped your heart out, but he put like a bag of sand in place of it. You know, like one of those things.
Oh man,
That'd be cool.
so great.
But yeah, Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. Okay. Those listening to the recording, you'll notice that it just got better. That's because I pressed the right button on the recording thing that I have. So there's gonna be a bit of a swap in recording quality here in a bit. That's fine. I'll figure it out. That's fun. Jonathan, do you have any ideas of who from the 80s and 90s you'd want to see join Mortal Kombat?
I got two phenomenal suggestions.
Oh, there we go.
Number one, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh,
I know he's the actor, but
yeah.
his
like
character
anything.
in pretty much anything, Hard Target especially.
Yeah, hard target. Yeah,
Because I want to see Jean-Claude Van Damme versus Chuck Norris. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Okay, for my choice, and I think I'm gonna win, guys. To be honest with you, Beetlejuice. I want Beetlejuice as a fighter in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but he doesn't count as an action.
Yeah, he's not known for
snake
fighting,
arms, get those snake arms going across the map. Boom, hitting the other guy, coming back.
Yeah, but
That's
you
true.
said what 80s action star? That's not an
It's
action
pretty
star.
actiony. I'm not that last like act of Beetlejuice. He's moving pretty quick. It's pretty actiony. I'm thinking.
You can summon the dead to assist him.
Yeah,
Ah, man, he'd be great. Yeah, he'd be awesome though. Let's see.
that's my vote.
Okay.
All right. Moving on to some Minecraft. Now we're going to Jonathan. You're the focus on this one, man. We have the Caves and Cliffs update. Is what's being called. It's one of the biggest changes to the caves we've ever seen. The new update offers these lush, overgrown caves with these dripping rocks and wide open caverns and giant underground lakes. They're keeping the old system as well, so it's kind of being added to it. So you're not going to lose anything. And then what's cool is when you're like cruising around, you're looking for somewhere to kind of mine. You'll know that it's one of the new systems by azalea trees that are growing on the surface, so you know that those are above the new cave systems. Are you excited for this, Jonathan? This new cave system?
I am ecstatic. I'm only disappointed that it's not coming out until summer next year. So I want to play it right now. The trailer for it looks amazing. It looks like they turned caves into just a whole nother like realm in the game.
Right.
So it looks amazing. There's so much different like materials and plants and creatures and stuff like that they're adding to this. This is one of the biggest updates I think they've had so far, at least from the trailer. It looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm ecstatic. I can't wait.
One thing I like is it is a big update, but it's also it's particularly a big update in a place that we're always visiting, right? Because we're always sitting there in the caves, and they do get monotonous once you know the pattern of things. Kind of like,
Yeah,
here
you
to
get
here,
so-
diamond,
You get so excited to find an abandoned mine shaft because it's something different in a cave that you can actually study. So this will be really cool because you're finding the same caves you go through all the time in mine, and you have to grind and get all those resources, but they're going to be more exciting and different, and you can find new unique resources in the process. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, one of the new resources we're getting is copper, and we know we can make a lightning rod out of that. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, we'll see what else we can do. And it actually sits there and ages over time to where it turns into that green. So that'll be pretty neat. Along with these new areas, we're also getting new creatures. So we're going to get new mountain goats. And they're actually making the mountains a little bit more dynamic. They're giving them tree lines and stuff like that. The mountain goats are going to be able to butt people off of the side of a mountain. And they're able to climb the mountain up multiple blocks. So they really are quite mobile. That's pretty cool. I like that there's a little bit of a threat. It's not like, they're mountain goats. It's not like they're super hard to kill or something like that. But it is a little bit of a threat where you have to watch your step because you might get kicked off. I do like that.
I wonder if a shift, you can creep on the edge of a block.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet that would,
I-
I bet that would still knock you.
Yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't, so that you can't, you have to actually fight the goat to survive on those edges.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing we're getting is an oxalots. They are little little lizard creatures, right, that swim. Anyway, so these will make loyal pets, and they'll be able to defend you in underwater dangers. So there, you saw in the trailer some guy surrounding himself with like 10 of these things, and going into one of those underwater ruins, and it was sitting there helping fight everything for him. So it was really cool. And you just catch it with like a bucket, you just swoop them right up. So that's pretty neat. And we're gonna be getting that as well. Last big thing we're getting is a warden. They are a big boss that's going to be walking around in the cave systems. You'll note that the blocks will change. They'll look like they have this overgrowth on them, this like black overgrowth. That's the sign that the warden's nearby. There are also plants in that region that'll vibrate based off of your shaking, and then he himself has 2 antennae above him, and he is based off of your movement. So any noise or any walking you do, he'll come towards you, and you can direct him with your arrows or with your snowballs. He does seem very fierce. When the video was showing like somebody fighting him, they died to him, and they put a lot of arrows into him. This is going to be a big danger. I think it's going to be something where you like get your friends involved and stuff like that. But I'm glad to see something more dangerous out there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it reminds me of back in beta when they introduced Enderman, because it used to just be skeletons and zombies, and then like, oh crap, this turns into a whole different fighting style I have to learn, because they're a totally different mob, and you are actually afraid of them because they kill you time and time again. So this will be interesting. You have to learn a different way to fight.
Yeah, a real threat out there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can play this on Java and Bedrock versions summer 2021. All right, we're looking at Fall Guys Season 2, and I need to get back to playing this. It's been a little bit since you, me, Squeak especially played it, but Season 2 is out there. With it, we have new levels, new costumes, new customizations. And the new levels, they're all like night-themed, medieval-themed. We have Night Fever, which is an obstacle that has swinging blades. We have Wall Guys, where you actually have to move blocks to stand on the blocks to get over walls. That's kind of a neat little addition. Egg Siege, that is all about you stealing eggs, but you have to worry about drawbridges going up and down. And then Hoopsy Legends, where you drag blocks as well to jump over hoops for your team, just like the other ring thing there. Any of these interest you, Squeaks?
I think the Blade one, because only for the fact that it's going to pertain to the theme of what they're going for. And I like that idea. I think if we can bring more themes into Fall Guys instead of per season, I think it really get with the feel. But I also hope that we could get.
Oh, I think I lost you for a second there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Sorry, we had a little bit of a connection issue.
Okay, I was just saying that hopefully that we could get like skins that relate to these themes.
We do have skins that relate to these themes. We're getting we're getting wizards, witches, dragons, Vikings, Valkyries.
Oh, that's right. I remember that announcement now. Yeah. I remember that announcement. Okay, I remember that now.
And they look pretty good too. I really like the Viking and the Valkyrie. Look really neat.
Yeah, they do. They do.
With those customizations, we're also getting the long-awaited nameplates customization. This was something that was actually in the game at launch, but people were abusing it and putting in words that we can't really have in a video game, right? And they used to be able to like change codes to make it real big. So now you can be able to customize your name again, but this time it'll be monitored by Mediatronics, so that'll be pretty cool. And last thing is we have a new game mode called Gauntlet Showdown, which removes all team-based games from the queue. So I think that's going to be the main way people play, because nobody really likes when you have to play soccer or anything like that. And that's pretty good to me. I think that's the way to go. All right, next up we have unfortunate news for Activision Blizzard. They're closing their France office. This used to be a really big office for them. But unfortunately, part of this whole Activision kind of slowly taking things over more and more. This is what we're at right now. It's being reported by Bloomberg's Jason Schreier. I think I finally said his last name correct there. That Activision Blizzard in Versailles, I think I messed that part up though, is closing down soon. The employees tell Schreier that they're going to be receiving additional information soon, but they're confident because the French labor laws are like really strict about making sure that everybody's compensated and have opportunity for other work of similar pay. So it's really sad to see all these employees lose their jobs, right? Especially at an office that was, crucial for the founding of World of Warcraft and StarCraft. And then and it's just this whole mess of like Activision's getting a little bit too involved. What do you think about this, Squeaks?
Oh, I think everybody's gonna leave and follow the last what's the Dreamhaven?
Dreamhaven, yeah.
Yeah, just quit and go over there.
Yeah.
No, but this is horrible because it sucks to see because the employees are the ones that are losing out really on this, and
Yeah.
and the fans also because we want, especially Blizzard, to be super successful and create the things that they create now. Um, but let me ask you this question: do you feel that this is just going to continue downhill since Activision has taken Blizzard? Like, is there going to be a rock bottom? Have we hit it yet? Is it coming
Yeah.
soon? What do you think?
We haven't hit it yet, but it does feel like it's approaching, right? Uh,
Yeah.
every week we seem to have more news that's more like Activision did this and Activision did that. It's unfortunate. We really love this company. We want the best for them, but we continue to see these things prop up. And I don't know. There are moments where it's like with the Shadowlands delay, where it's kind of like these Blizzard moments, but there's just not enough of them. They're too far and few between. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Do you guys think it's the Activision name that's bringing down the Blizzard stock, or just their actions? Do you think if Activision sold Blizzard to, well, I don't know, some other developers, that Blizzard can be revitalized and have a good reputation again?
What's hard is they were actually merged. So there's still an Activision, and there's still Blizzard, and then there's Activision Blizzard, which is the corporate entity. So unlike Bungie, for example, Bungie was under contract with them, and then they eventually went off on their own, and now they seem to be doing better, right? Blizzard, not necessarily possible because they would have to. Well, it's possible, but it'd be far harder to do because it's an uncoupling of a merger, and that would be really difficult. That would be hard on everybody. Of course, Blizzard fans, that's what they're always rooting for. So,
Right.
The office had 400 employees before the 2019 layoffs. Those are real big news, and it was left with 260. This team was mostly in charge of customer service, marketing, and local support. So it was basically like one of the big things that this did, and that's why it's creating so much attention, is a lot of the streamers and YouTubers are really big in in Europe area, which a lot of preach and stuff like that. They're in that area. This was the office they would call for customer support and for reporting and stuff like that. So, and it was going to move to the UK, but then the UK had a problem with, of course, COVID and with Brexit. So then they were like, well, it's, shaky there too. So there's a problem with that. And so now it's just straight up closing down. And the support will be ran out of the Irvine office from what I hear. It's unfortunate that they're also losing their support in that region, right? Because the European market, it might not get the credit it deserves, but is a huge part of Blizzard's games, especially World of Warcraft. So it's really sad to see them also lose their customer service base.
So what do they have to do then? What do they have to do now? I mean, just be entry for them?
They'll have to reach out to the U.S. office for any sort of customer service or anything like that. Which is, the U.S. office is at a different time zone, and they may not necessarily understand the situation as well as somebody who lives in the region, as the same people complaining. It's just another hurdle for people to go through.
Well, yeah, especially for the people in the U.S. offices. I mean, that's just another whole country that they have to worry about now. It just creates double the load.
Yeah, it's a shame, and again, it's one of those things where it's like, well, if it was just Blizzard by themselves, we'd be fine. Something we always say, and here we are. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of closures, we have Riot. There's going to be closing the Australian offices. This is a little different. This is more esports related. So, the creators of League of Legends and Valorant says that we do not believe that the market is currently able to support a professional league. So this is actually like if Overwatch were to close down all of the Europe area, that kind of thing, right? There will still be esports for the teams and for both of the franchises, but the Oceanic Pro League is what it was called. That's actually going away. So those teams will be folded into the LCS, and just kind of like, they'll still have to contest with everybody that's in the LCS, not necessarily within their own league. And then all of their stuff's going to be handled through North America as well. It's expected, though, because esports is going through this thing where they're changing a lot, and they're still finding their footing, so we really don't know where the audience is at. When I was doing the research for this, the audience seems to be like Western Europe, the coastal Americas, and then in Asia it's pretty prominent, but you're talking about the eastern half or the eastern part of Asia and stuff like that. That's where esports really lives. So they're still kind of testing the waters, but it's sad to see. Of course, this was a smaller office, but people lose their job. Jonathan, do you think that we could see more of this as esports develops?
Yeah, like you're saying, it's being refined. It's becoming a new industry, or being reshaped as an industry. So
Yeah.
I think we'll have to see this kind of stuff. Now, I don't know if this is Riot having to downsize because their business is doing worse or whatever, or if it's expected. I mean, maybe this is happening to other people in esports. But yeah, there's going to be some growing pains. But I think as long as we're all still pushing in the same direction, if Riot needs to come out with some new game that is hot in esports and that helps them stay afloat, that's great. But you can't lean on League of Legends forever too. So
Yeah.
I think that's great that they're moving forward and going to grow with the industry. But unfortunately, this is them having to downsize in the process.
Yeah. It's the same thing for football or whatever, or any of these other physical sports. It's not like there's going to be a ton of teams. For soccer, for example, you're not going to invest your money if you're going to try to make a new soccer team in the heartland of America. That's not where your audience is at. You know what I'm saying? So you have to figure out where the audience is. And we're at a point now where they are learning where the audience is. And that's where they'll go. I mean, really, if you wanted to start a new esports team, you go right to Korea, China, Japan. That's where the market's at. If you look at the numbers in like spectating numbers, the U.S. and Europe are like 12 and 12%, right? They're both around 12%. 75% is in Asia. That's where the big market's at. That's where the big numbers are. So that's where you really want to invest the money. Unfortunately, Australia wasn't even on the charts. It was so small, so they have a really hard time. That's where we're at right now. We're figuring this stuff out. Yeah. Anything you want to add to this, Squeaks, before we move on?
No, I think I totally agree with that. I think it's a business decision, and as time goes, we're going to find, like what John said, redefine kind of what esports is, how popular in certain locations. And I mean, I think you nailed it where, like you said, your soccer analogy, you're not going to make one here. You're going to go England or whoever to make a soccer team, right?
Right, of course.
So, I mean, and plus it's it's the business making the decision themselves.
Right.
It's not like something is, tanking on them because of their failures. They see that, hey, it's not going to be successful here, so we're moving on. So, yeah.
All right, those watching the stream, we're going to end the stream just because we're having some connection issues, and we're going to continue to record. We'll post it on YouTube, and we'll post it on Twitch as well, so you guys can rewatch it there as well. Thank you for watching, those who have watched. See you guys. Okay, and now we're just recording regular. Okay, moving on. Wolfenstein and Dishonored collections are both coming. God damn, the dog's picking like an excellent time to be a pain in the ass.
And this is an excellent time. That's in between the segue that you have to edit out.
That is true. Okay. All right, Wolfenstein and Dishonored are both getting collections. This is after the news that ZeniMax is joining Xbox. So this is kind of like Xbox revitalizing all the franchises. Out of those two, so this is everything Wolfenstein, and then we have everything Dishonored, including Prey. Any of those you guys have played? I know I've played a little bit of Dishonored.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a favorite, Swiss?
I played Dishonored 1 and most of 2. Played a lot of Wolfenstein. If I had to pick like out of those, I like Dishonored for sure. I love the art style with it. I love the ability, the powers that you can have while sneaking around and killing others.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a beautiful game. Dishonored for sure.
Yeah. What about you, John? Have you played any of those?
Nah, none of them.
This is your chance, man. You're gonna be able to play them now. So you get the entire Wolfenstein collection. Like how I did that segue. The New Order, Wolfenstein: The New Order, The Old Blood, The New Colossus, Young Blood. They have a theme there, don't they? For $80, and then for the Arcane collection is what they're calling the other one that has Dishonored, Dishonored 2, Dishonored: Death of the Outsider, and of course Prey, which is award-winning. That one's for $60. You can get these on Xbox and PlayStation, and I'm assuming as well as on PC. They have not announced the PC version yet. This is one of those things. When the Steam sale comes along and I see this get down to like $10, and I'm like, holy cow, give me this. I just bought, after we discussed BioShock, I bought the entire BioShock collection for $15. And that was with the remasters and everything like that. So I'm currently streaming BioShock 1. And it's so good. I'm glad we did level up on it. It's really good. Moving on to the next thing here, we have some really good news for iPhone users. It's including myself. xCloud is coming to iOS. Last week we talked about Amazon and their revealing of a Luna streaming service. This is going to be able to play video games much like a Stadia or an xCloud. But they also revealed that they're going to be coming to the iPhones through a web app. So just kind of an example of what that would look like. It's like if you, instead of using the YouTube app to watch YouTube videos, you went to, on your Safari, youtube.com and then watched a video through that. So that's how you're going to be able to stream games. And it's a pretty unique little workaround here. And Apple's all for it. They're completely for this. So now Xbox boss Phil Spencer came out and he said, look, we're taking Amazon's lead. You guys, xCloud is coming to Safari, which is, of course, the browser for Apple. And Apple's Safari team is going to be helping them with this. So during the conference call, they said it'll be coming out in 2021 along with PC streaming for the xCloud, which is what I'm really excited for. This is good news. You guys are iPhone users, right? Who do we have here that are iPhone users? Me, Jonathan, you have one?
Yeah.
Squeaks?
Android or Samsung? Yeah, Android.
Wow. Okay.
Epic fail.
Yeah,
The
that's too
future.
bad. Actually, yours is the Star Wars phone, right?
Oh fuck no! I wish it was.
Oh, I thought you had it. Oh, wow. So you just fully disappointed me.
I know if it was. Oh my god. I tried to get that one.
Oh, that thing was so cool. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, look up Kylo Ren. I think it's the Kylo Ren one. The Kylo Ren phone. It is unbelievable. But
So good.
But I'm excited for this. Have any of you guys had a chance to try out xCloud on anything else?
Nope.
No, honestly, I've had the ability to play xCloud for this whole time since it was released, and I have not given it a chance.
Okay,
I don't
so
know. I don't know.
since you're sitting over there with that Android, can you test it out and then report back on what that's like?
I need to hook up a
God.
Xbox controller to it, huh?
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
I'm gonna try right now, see if I got batteries in these things.
Oh, look, he's doing this stuff live while we talk about it. So, yes, we're gonna be able to try this out. I'm really excited for this. There's all kinds of Xbox games that I would like to play on the go. You get the Halo Master Chief Collection, some Sea of Thieves. I could be getting my reps up with Sea of Thieves while I'm out and about. Really good when you're at work or at school. So that's pretty cool. Jonathan, can you think of anything in the Xbox library that you think would play well on the phone? Remember, it's streamed, so it's not the power of the phone, but you want to see on the screen.
That's what I'm worried about. Is will it stream as well as if you're playing on the console? When I'm playing a game, I want to be immersed in the game.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't do mobile. Period. I try to stay away from that because just playing on your phone, you're out in the world. I need to be in a dungeon, like quiet room, headphones on, no distractions, and dive into the game. So to me, just mobile's not even appetizing. I'd rather just have a bigger home setup. If they make like the old school Star Trek game that would be at theaters where you sit in a little booth and you got the phase and stuff. If they made one of those for the home with motion seats and stuff like that, I would invest in it for sure.
Oh man, I gotta show you. There's this like scorpion chair that you sit into it, and then the scorpion tail comes up over you and has 3 monitors on it, and it has a recliner. I'll have to show it to you, man. It's like the future of gaming and what I really, really need. I don't need couches. Right. I need that. So it's pretty neat. Okay, so this is also going to be coming to tablets and stuff like that. So you got the iPad, and you can just hook up your Xbox controller right to it. They're going to be doing like Bluetooth connection and stuff like that too. So it's pretty neat. There's a little adapter you get that has like the cord. The future is now, guys. It looks really good. All right, so we're going to move on to the GameStop thing while Squeaks is still doing his testing. I just see them frantically working. All right, so GameStop and Microsoft. This is all Microsoft news, by the way. GameStop and Microsoft have signed a multi-year deal to keep the retail stores more relevant and modernizing their practices. So first up on the docket is all the inventory, shopper information, and finances will be changing over to Microsoft's cloud-based business application called Dynamics 365. Unbelievably, they did not have something like this in place. So a lot of things were done like on an old archaic system. It looked like a fancy Excel sheet, I guess, where your information wouldn't necessarily travel very well from store to store. There's a lot of checking by phone, and no wonder this place is going to business. And it was hard to really kind of calculate things like that. Like, they just didn't have your information that well. There was the customer reward system that managed a lot of things, but as for like inventory and stuff like that, it was really kind of shaky at best. Well, now they're modernizing everything to where it's more of this like global inventory amongst all stores, and they could really help you out. This is kind of a long time coming, and I think it's a really good idea. Any thoughts on that?
You think it's too late in the game to be investing in something like that? I think they should have done that, 15 years ago.
Yeah, they really should have approached this thing quicker. I think the old guys that used to run GameStop are just totally out of touch because it's the Barnes & Noble team. So Xbox is owned by Barnes & Noble. So you look at Barnes & Noble and they're like, yeah, they're not doing great either. So you're kind of in that spot where it's like, well, yeah, I don't know. It might be a little too late. You might be right there.
And I had an idea. A lot of the same merchandise they sell, which a lot of their sales are merchandise, and games make them some of the profit, and consoles make them hardly anything. Mm-hmm. But a lot of their merchandise they sell is pop culture stuff, which I was thinking. To me, movie theaters are struggling right now. They should have their own in theater little store that sells all the pop culture stuff. Imagine you could buy, you go watch a new whatever Legos movie. You could buy the Legos posters and plush and little toys and candies and all that stuff instead of going to GameStop. Buy it all in the theaters. That would help keep our theaters alive too.
Yeah. Yeah, you're 100% right there. That's a good idea. Little things like that they need to do to make it to where it's all this kind of like, that's kind of where they were talking about getting comic books in the shops too, because it kind of encompasses all these hurting situations together, and help each other out. So that's really good. The store associates will be equipped with a Surface tablet, and there's not so. If you kind of picture this reminds you of like the AT&T store, right? You go in. There's not really a desk that they're behind anymore. They're roaming around. They have their tablets. It looks like it's the future. And that's how it's going to be here. So you're going to have these guys just kind of roaming around. And they're going to have these tablets that'll have everything with a cloud-based system on it. So they'll be able to pull up, here's Jonathan. He's a big Halo fan and a big Call of Duty fan. I assume based off of his past purchases and how much time he's playing on them, that he'll be a big fan of Medal of Honor. And so then they'll suggest that to you. And what are your thoughts with that? Like this kind of like it's more welcoming environment. What do you think?
I don't think that'll help. So for you and me, when you go into GameStop, you don't need somebody with a tablet that knows your history because you have a personal relationship with the people there and they know your history.
Right. So
you're not going there for the tech side of it. So I think adding all this stuff, it would have been great to do a long time ago, but I don't think it's going to draw in the crowd that they need to keep their business open. So I think it's too little too late. Hopefully it works. I'd like to see GameStop stay around, but I think they need to come up with a different strategy if they really have any chance.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things too where the customers that go in there know what they already need usually. If you're like us, you're like, I'm going to GameStop to pick up my pre-order on whatever. It's not like, I'm going to go to GameStop and just have a ponder and really kind of figure out what am I going to spend my $60 on this time. There are times where I'll go in and kind of chit-chat, but I'm mostly there for like a Funko Pop. Don't get me wrong, I am one of those losers that's going in to visit GameStop for nothing. But, for the most part, people are going in with a set goal, mind. Squeaks, what do you think about this new idea of them wandering around with tablets and all this cloud-based information and inventory?
I don't get the point. I know my history, obviously, because I play games. So what are you going to suggest to me?
Yeah.
So you're going to suggest something that I came in for originally. What are you, like AT&T now?
That's exactly that's exactly what I was thinking. Exactly.
And the one like the people you're talking about, Frank, that already know what game they want, they're going in there for that. They don't have to set foot in a store anymore. They can order it online or better yet, download it online and not even wait a minute and have the same game. So that whole walking in and I'm gonna lure somebody to buy something different, I doubt it's gonna make much of a difference in their business.
You are totally right, man. You're totally right. Yeah. We're moving to a digital age, and trying to save this way might not be the right idea. Who this is going to help are the people who don't know about video games that are shopping for somebody else. This will kind of help because they're like, Jeremy Ryan is who I'm looking for. And then they'll be like, let me type up Jeremy Ryan. And then they'll see that, he likes Call of Duty games. So that might help if that's a thing, but it's such a shot in the dark that's going to work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of investment in something that might not just survive.
And like you're saying, the discs themselves are going out of date. So it's just like trying to keep a Blockbuster video open. You have to change what your primary foundation is. So if they try to gear themselves more like a Hot Topic or Spencer's kind of thing, because that's their other side is the pop culture products, then maybe they can lean on that more. But I doubt just staying on video game systems and the actual games themselves is going to do them a whole lot.
That is one nice thing is they are talking about how your GameStop account will tie to your Xbox account and eventually your PlayStation account. So if you want to, you don't have to buy you don't have to buy the physical version. You can buy the digital version. And like for Xbox, if you buy a digital version on like your PC, it'll start downloading on your Xbox right now. So you could technically go to the GameStop. Say you're at Kohl's, you swing by GameStop, you buy the new Call of Duty. I keep using Call of Duty. And then by the time you're home, it's already downloaded or it's in the downloading process. There is a kind of a neat little thing with that. Maybe you're just like, I'll check it out. And then it's available for you when you get home.
And one thing I did like was the pre-order perks they had. And you could pre-order a game and make payments on it or whatever. And that kind of stuff you can't do when you buy online. So if they, could add more incentives to, reserving a game or pre-ordering it, that would be kind of nice. Even if it's, like you're saying, online through their account. Maybe they need to launch their own version of Steam, their own online.
They tried, yeah. They tried.
Oh, epic fail.
Yeah, it was. And so unfortunately, I was a sucker and bought a couple games on there. So then I'm like, well, there goes those. It sucks. But yeah, and that's the thing too is right now if you get something that's a digital pre-order benefit, they give you a code that you put in. That's so archaic. Now, if you pre-order something that has a digital benefit, boom, you get that right away. So it's tied to your
Is this a
account.
Pepsi bottle cap or what? Come on now.
Right? Yeah. Let me collect my Pepsi bottle caps. Get a free Coke. Oh wait, Pepsi Coke. Whatever.
It's so good you could upgrade from a Pepsi to a Coke.
Right. That's my book. Also added to GameStop, last thing we'll talk here is they're going to have Xbox All Access. There's also going to be a PlayStation version that they're implementing themselves, to where you can go in and you set up payment plans for a PlayStation or an Xbox. The Xbox One is handled through Xbox, but they're going to get a cut of it if they do those. The PlayStation One looks like it's actually on GameStop's side, where they'll handle the payment plan. Interesting system that they're putting in place that will help a lot of people, actually. I think setting up their own payment plan is a good way to kind of keep those doors open,
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up we have the Resident Evil reboot. Squeaks, are you a Resident Evil player?
I am.
Okay, so
yes,
we're leaning on you on this one, okay?
Okay.
Because I don't know who the hell these people are. When I was writing the article, I happened to be in Discord with Daniel, so I was like, who is Jill Valentine? And he's like, you're an idiot. And explained it to me. Okay, so Constantine film and director Johannes Roberts announced that they are rebooting the Resident Evil franchise with a new story more faithful to the Capcom horror game. Representing Constantine film will be producer Robert Kulzer, who produced the other Resident Evil movies. And he says, after a dozen games, 6 live-action movies, and hundreds of pages of fan fiction, we felt compelled to return to the year 1998, to explore the secrets hidden in the walls of the Spencer Mansion and Raccoon City. So this is an interview with Deadline that he said that. So here we go. We have our cast. We have everybody who's in it. We're going to go through these, and you're kind of going to give us a one-liner of who these people are, okay? So,
okay, one-liners.
Who is Jill Valentine?
Resident Evil 3.
Okay, that was definitely
That's my one-liner. No, she is a STARS member from Raccoon City. She originally appears in Resident Evil 1 with Chris when they explore the mansion.
Okay.
Everyone should know that, even if you don't play Resident Evil. We all know that famous mansion.
Okay.
And then reappeared with Resident Evil 3 with the Nemesis.
Okay. So is she like the main character from the movies, the old movies? Is that Jill Valentine?
No, because I think the main character in the movies was a completely brand new character.
Okay, totally fiction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So this is going to be played by Hannah John Kamen. She is Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp. If you guys remember that, she's the bad guy from the second Ant-Man. Next we have Tom Hooper is playing Albert Wesker. Tom Hooper is from Umbrella Academy. He's number 1, the big guy that's part gorilla. So we can expect him playing Albert Wesker. Are you familiar with Albert Wesker?
Yes, he's basically the antagonist in most of the Resident Evils. Trying to, world domination or whatever, expand the virus and make it as a weapon.
More zombies. What a jerk.
Yes.
All right, we have Kaya Scadelli or whatever. She's Karina from the last Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, or last movie. She's playing Claire Redfield. I've heard of Claire Redfield. Who is that?
She's originally from Resident Evil 2. Is trying to find her brother Chris Redfield, which is from Resident Evil 1 and 5 and 6 and whichever ones. So she basically went to Raccoon City to look for her brother. That's a police officer in STARS as well.
Okay. Then we're moving on to Chris. He is being played by Robbie Amell, who is really big famous from Upload. Everybody's talking and watching Upload on Amazon Prime. He's from that. Can you give us a rundown of Chris Redfield? Is he awesome? What's his deal?
He is. He's like your action-packed guy. Every time he's like your like, this is the ideal image of a cop. Let's just say that, right?
Okay.
Kind of muscular, kind of like a fit for the job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's from Resident Evil 1 to 5, 6. Yeah, he's in most of them. He's one of the big guys if you had to compare him next to like Claire and Leon.
Okay. Oh, we're getting to him. So we have Neil McDowell is the next one. He's like the bad. I think the one that you guys will know is he's the bad guy from Walking Tall. You guys know who I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Jonathan gets. I know Jonathan would. Do you know who I'm talking about? He's like a bad guy on a bunch of stuff. His Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow. He knows as well. He's gonna be playing William Birkin. Who is William Birkin?
I think he's a doctor.
Okay.
I believe, and he is part of the virus getting out, but I could be wrong. I could be
Okay.
wrong. Yeah.
And then we have Avon. Good name. Avon Jogia, I think what it is. He's from Zombieland 2. Now, I recognize his name, of course. This is Leon S. Kennedy. Now, Leon Kennedy, he's from Resident Evil 4, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
2.
2? Son of a gun.
Famously known for 2.
Oh, okay. And he looks like he's kind of one of those badass guys as well, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Perfect.
We always need more Leon in our lives.
More Leon in our lives. So this is, again, we're seeing this cast full of actual faithful to the Capcom game joining, and it's, from what it sounds like, it's actually going to be the Outbreak and the Mansion storyline, which I think everybody kind of knows that one generally from the movies. It'll be good to see that, and I'm excited for that. And this is really kind of a budget-friendly cast. I'm hoping they can throw a lot of money into the special effects because none of these guys are super expensive. So that'll be really nice too. That's good.
None of them are super expensive.
Well, yeah, we don't, there's no Brad Pitts. All right, going into delays, instead of just doing this one at a time, we're going to kind of shotgun these out real quick. The Batman, which is the one that hurts the most, it's getting pushed back to March 2022. 2022 getting pushed back to that. Freaking sucks. Dune is delayed to October 21st, 2021, so that means we're pushing back the audiobook for that too. We'll talk about the audiobook another time. Godzilla vs. Kong being pushed back to May 2021. 007 No Time to Die delayed to April 2021. The Matrix 4 is getting moved up from April 2022 to December 2021. And in just a little bit of good news, Pixar's Soul is getting released November 20th in December on Christmas Day for free. So it'll actually be fully free if you have Disney Plus. So this is that. But you don't have to pay the $30 like you did with Mulan. Any of these big upsets to you guys? Jonathan, let's start with you, man. Any of these that you're upset about?
Batman, yeah, I'd love to see the new Batman sooner than later, but I'm excited the Matrix has moved up. That's pretty cool. Other than that, the rest of them I didn't really care about. Godzilla, whoop-de-doo.
Wow, the face on Squeaks. What do you think, Squeaks?
Yeah, it was actually Godzilla vs. Kong, to be honest. Because I want 2 motherfucking big ass monsters on the screen just duking it out, and that's what I want to see.
Sometimes just roll around and there goes all Manhattan.
You know what? And sometimes that's all I want to see, just dumb action where innocent people just die because of a big ass gorilla and a big ass lizard dinosaur thing.
I like your justification. You just want to see innocent people die. That's cool. It's whatever.
Honestly, I am actually looking forward to that one, to be honest.
I'll give you this. So I liked Godzilla. I have not seen Kong, the new Kong.
I like Kong, but I did not like Godzilla.
Really?
Yeah.
So we're beefing, I guess, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we are.
Interesting.
I know who we're rooting for on this versus match.
Right. God.
Yeah.
All right. Some good news all around, guys. Janeway is freaking back. This was the reason for New York Comic Con because really there was nothing else cool announced, in my opinion. Kate Mulgrew is returning to Starfleet in Nickelodeon's Star Trek Prodigy. This is a cartoon that's going to be geared towards young teenagers. The announcement came out of the virtual Comic-Con during the Star Trek panel. We do not know exactly what Catherine Janeway will be doing, but we know that she's going to be playing a role model. And the idea of Prodigy is that it's like some young teens that find an abandoned ship, and then they go on adventures and grow and learn and whatnot. Janeway's going to be their guiding star for that, so that's going to be pretty cool. We have a quote here from Kate Mulgrew herself. I'm just... When I was typing this up, I was like, I'm giddy, because it's cool to have quotes from Kate Mulgrew about Star Trek stuff. So here we go. I have invested every scintilla, she said scintilla, and I was like, that's so fucking Janeway, of my being in Captain Janeway, and I can't wait to endow her with the nuance that I never did before in Star Trek Prodigy. How thrilling to be able to introduce to these young minds an idea that has elevated the world for decades. To be at the helm again is going to deeply gratify me. Gratifying in a new way for me, Kate Mulgrew. So, outside of me saying things terribly, I'm really excited about this, guys. It's really good news. Jonathan, you want to speak to this, man? You're the one.
I'm ecstatic. I can't wait. I was so excited to see Picard, and now, it had 7 of 9 and other casts, and now, Janeway's coming back to the world. This is the day and age of the Star Trek universe. It just keeps growing, and I love it. I thought, we had a few cool series, and it just kind of fizzled out. But no, they're just running with it. I think it's because the fans of Next Generation and some of the newer series are now grown adults that have, flexible income, disposable income. And so they're seeing that all these people really want it. It's got a huge following. So let's just keep turning out more content. So I love it. That's why one of the reasons I'm going back to the roots and I'm going to watch everything Star Trek from whatever the 50s on up, and hopefully have a small written review for each episode. We'll see.
We're gonna farm you for content. It'll be something. If I have to call
Right.
you and ask you questions and secretly record it, I will. We'll find a
Right.
way to make content out of this. But yeah, that'd be really good. I was really excited for this, of course. And then one thing that really, just kind of added a nice little layer to this thing. You see so many times when a Star Trek player, actor, moves on. Initially, there's kind of this whole thing of like, it was just a role. I was just playing a character. I got paid. I got my check, and then they move on. But a really good example of this is Leonard Nimoy. But then as time moves on and they start to see that not only were the fans like, because there's this thing where it's like, okay, yeah, you guys are a little bit too excited for this job I did. But then they learn that like, oh no, the people were actually inspired and motivated by that role. Not just like, yay, that's neat. It's more like, I want to be better because of the actions Janeway took. That they start to realize that, oh no, there's something more to this role. And we're at that point now with Kate Mulgrew. So when she's talking about how people would come up to her and talk about how like, you motivated me to become a scientist, especially young women. She's like really excited for young women that come up to her and like, I was a scientist because you were a science officer. And it's just these cool little things like that was just like, yes, I'm so glad that she's finally, I mean, she always, she appreciated the role, but to hear that out of her means that she's at the point now where she's fully embraced Captain Janeway, and just like we all have. So it's really exciting to see her return. And hopefully we get more of the Voyager crew helping her out and joining the team at some point.
Being involved in a Star Trek means that she'll, do some cameos in some of the live action series we have now too. I know, what's the other one?
Picard or Strange New
No.
Worlds? Discovery.
Discovery. Yeah, I know Discovery's like 3,000 years in the future, so she can't really cameo into that one. But Picard would be perfect for Admiral Janeway to pop in every once in a while.
Totally perfect. Yeah, and by the way, Discovery starts this week, the next season of Discovery. So I will be writing a review for that and then doing a review on the next episode of the first episode. So excited. Yeah, 3,000 years in the future would be pretty crazy. All right, moving on to this next thing here. This is pretty interesting news here. We had Team Downey, which is Sherlock. It is Robert Downey Jr. and his wife, Susan. They created this new production company called Team Downey. They already made one series called Perry Mason. We talked about a little bit on it for HBO. It's really successful. It's already got the second season ordered, and they're working on that. During an interview with Fast Company, he announced that they're going to be working on an MCU-level universe that's involved around Sherlock Holmes. They called it the Mysteryverse, Mystery Cinematic Universe kind of thing. They're working on it. This is exciting to me because I started to kind of think, okay, who else in the Sherlock world could be having their own standalone movie? I have some ideas, but we're going to go to you guys first. Squeaks, do you have anybody you think deserves their own movie that's in the Sherlock world, or not necessarily the Sherlock world, Victorian times? So anybody like that, kind of like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen level stuff? What do you think?
Okay, besides going on villains, I mean, I think we just have to start off with Watson himself, right?
Yeah.
I think we need to see like more of his background and how he even became to the partner with Sherlock Holmes. I think that'd be interesting.
He has this military background and stuff like that. It'd be cool to see like as a badass military general kind of thing.
But I want to see like a villains as well, though. I want to see like some of the, I don't know, like some of the famous villains from Sherlock Holmes, but I want to see like, I want to see their backstories and whatnot, and their point of views of having to face Sherlock Holmes himself.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, Jim Moriarty, he's the only person who's really outsmarted Sherlock Holmes to see something from his point of view of like, maybe there's a certain point where he turned. We could have kind of a Joker kind of thing where, he's just a guy getting around in the world and he sees that he's smarter than everybody else around him, and eventually he turns. He's like, screw it, I might as well make money at this, put the world at war. Something like that. That'd be pretty cool. I like that idea. Jonathan, you have any heavy hitters you want to talk about?
Just with you mentioning the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I think, was it Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde would be ideal to put in this kind of world. Really, all the characters in that movie would be great. But other than the movies from that time period, I don't know any characters from books or anything like that. So I'm sure they can put together, even just make authentic new characters without having to draw from past books. But I think it's a good idea. I think it'd be awesome. Have a whole nother type of realm instead of dealing with superheroes. You're dealing with real regular people that just have the intellectual capacity and all that. That'd be cool.
Because if we're talking that time frame, like you brought up Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, which I mean, I'm still waiting for my what is it, Universal Universe?
They already
You know,
canceled that, buddy. It's not happening.
fucking shit. Yeah, okay, but that's what I was super excited for. So if they
Right.
could kind of add that, because then we want to see what Jack the Ripper. I think that'd be cool to see him in
I
that. If
agree.
we could
Yeah.
There
just
you
kind of
go.
mix these people into like same time frame wise, but why not bring in like these, maybe not dark Sherlock Holmes villains, but make them the villains.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
and something like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I know people are like, "Well, that's not Sherlock Holmes related at all." First off, it's Robert Downey Jr. and he likes fireworks. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be something that's going to be just cool to watch. And Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde story is kind of science based, so there's something there. Like it would fit in the world, and it would be really cool to see Sherlock try to discover like, oh, it's not two creatures, like, or maybe he's even working with Jekyll. No, Hyde, Dr. Jekyll. Yeah, working
Yeah.
with Jekyll to try to figure out this mystery, and Jekyll really knows the truth or something like that. That'd be a really cool, fun turn to watch in a movie. That's a good idea.
And it could be like Hulk in the MCU, where it starts as a villain, or you think it's a problem you can't control until eventually he helps him, gain control over his transformation and stuff like that.
That literally happened in a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Yeah, you're right. He like saves him from an underwater sinking thing
Yeah.
at one point. That was a good movie, actually. I might want to watch that again.
It's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of this, I do have faith in this because of what you brought up with Perry Mason. I thought Perry Mason was a great show.
Mhm.
But why not? Has any of you two seen Penny Dreadful?
Not yet. On my list,
No.
haven't seen it.
It's a very elegant horror show.
Hmm.
It's in the whole Victorian London type of feel, so it'd be dope to see like if we could get creatures like that. Because you brought up Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, if we could get like even a fucking Dracula or some shit,
Right.
but really in the detective feel of that would be awesome. Would be a nice twist to see.
Yeah, it's a cool world to explore. That it's like that. There's a Batman versus by Gaslight, which is a whole Batman story in this generation. That was really
Mhm.
cool story to kind of check out too. For
Yeah.
me, I'd like to see Nikola Tesla join the cast and kind of be Sherlock Holmes's Q for 007. Like maybe he's got cool inventions or whatever. Because Nikola Tesla's just hot. Like anybody talking about him, though he's like this person that people are always arguing is better than Edison. He's like he brings in people to just check that out. So if you were to say like Sherlock Holmes is fighting Jack the Ripper with Nikola Tesla curating inventions for him. I mean, you're talking about a show I'm watching, right?
Hey, but I think you got it backwards because Holmes makes his own gadgets, right? So you write in Nikola Tesla as the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
He has to take down Tesla, who's trying to make this dangerous, electrical weapon or something like that
Yeah.
that can be misconstrued. That'd be cool.
Damn it, Watson.
Tesla did make I think it's like I forget what it's called, Death Ray or something like that. That could take out a city. He actually drew up designs for that. It was when he was getting older and kind of getting like more experimental, but that is on paper, yeah. And then he had something about Mars too. There was the whole thing with like, anyways, he went crazy towards the end. So did Edison. It's what they do. But yeah, that's really good idea. Irene Adler would be really good too because she's kind of this femme fatale that's globetrotting and always like she's the agent of way more powerful people. And Sherlock Holmes isn't aware of the situation until she's like, the people I work with need you to do this. And then he's like, okay, you're in deep with like these wrong people. So she would be really fun to see like balancing multiple like superpowers and stuff like that. Not necessarily like superpowers heroes, but I'm talking about like Russia and America and the British Empire and all these things like that. She'd be balancing them all out. It'd be really fun. So that'd be
Now,
cool.
are we talking about this is going to be a movie or a TV series?
This is going to be a
Series of
movie
movies.
franchise. This is going to be like the MCU. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, he's using that Iron Man money to make a new MCU basically. So
Yeah.
we're talking about individual movies and then being built out. It could be pretty amazing. Yeah, we could really see something. Irene Adler could really be their 007.
Do you think it'll continue off of the first? It'll probably continue off the first Sherlock Holmes, right?
Well, they're already working on a third Sherlock Holmes, so it'll be 1, 2, and 3.
Oh fuck, I forgot about it too.
Yeah.
Damn.
And in
Do
3,
you like him?
what's that?
Do you like him?
I do, not necessarily as a Sherlock Holmes fan, but as like I just like these movies fan.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, if the way we're talking about things, I would love to see some because we brought up Perry Mason too. That's a little bit more darker, so it'd be cool
Yeah.
to kind of see a darker tone to these Sherlock Holmes movies.
Hmm.
Instead of like what I remember the most of in the first one, like him like pausing the world just like fucking analyze a fight scene. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's just a fun thing about Daniel. Daniel, he's not really invested in Sherlock Holmes except for the Robert Downey Jr. things. It's the only thing he's ever seen Sherlock Holmes related. So then he watches Netflix's Enola Holmes, which I haven't seen yet. Have you guys seen that yet?
No, it's on my list though. I need to see it.
He's a huge supporter of that show. And it was so funny because he's like, dude, this Sherlock Holmes guy, he's pretty smart. He's pretty awesome. And so then he's like, I got to get more Sherlock Holmes stuff. So he just ordered the complete collection book, and he's going to read it. It's over 1,000 pages. He's going to read that. And I'm like, you really should be watching Sherlock with Doctor Strange. And he's like, no. I'm going to read the book first. It'll be easier. No, it won't. What are you talking about? So
yeah, when you give up on the book, just dive into the show.
Yeah. Well, his big thing was, and it's a very good point, is the fact that Robert Downey Jr. movies they're fun action movies. They're not necessarily like him being a really great detective. It doesn't display it as well as you would see in the books. The books do a lot better job with that. So he's going deep. He's going to read all the books. It's crazy.
I think Sherlock, what was the one with Will Ferrell, did a better job of being a detective.
I haven't seen that one. Is that any good?
It's semi-funny.
Yeah.
Just to see those two guys together is awesome.
It's Will Ferrell level funny.
Oh, then I'm gonna love it.
Not subtle. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Well, yeah. Eurovision. I know. I already showed Jonathan that when he was over last time. I really like it. It's funny. It's one of the latest things. But yeah.
Oh my God, is that the one on Netflix?
Yes.
And he's a singer. Wants to be a singer?
Yeah. Did you see it?
Fucking hilarious.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. Oh my
the little phone calls. Hello.
Yeah.
You have a phone call?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Man, that show's great, dude. I wish we could participate in Eurovision, but unfortunately, they're not going to let us. But Russia's in there. Come on now, it's unfair. Anyways, all right, moving on to Game of Thrones prequel. This is a real quick one here. They just cast Patty Considine. Thank you. That's to myself. As King Varys II. So this is a kind of weak, too kind of version of the King Varys. One that was like, oh, we'll be nice to the poor people. And he's always living in the shadow of his grandfather, which was King Jaehaerys, I think, if I remember correctly, who was like not ruthless, but like a really great king, like powerful and dominating. So it's kind of one of these things where it's going to be in the shadows. It's their first casting for this prequel series, which is going to be really cool. It's going to be called Fire and Blood, following the entire Targaryen startup, really, a big portion of their lives. Do you guys remember Patty Considine? He's from Hot Fuzz. He's one of the two Andrews, and he's from Peaky Blinders. He's the creepy priest. Does that sound familiar to either of you?
Nope.
No.
Not too much, no.
If you're in the UK, he's a big character for you guys. So check that out, guys. He's joining the Game of Thrones cast as a king, so that'd be pretty cool. I'm excited.
Do you think we'll see more characters pulled, like more like that's already been in other things pulled since Game of Thrones is so big now? Like they'll want to be in this TV series now?
I definitely think so, especially this level where they're not really big popular in the U.S., but they're popular other places because they're budget friendly, like that Resident Evil thing, where he's recognizable face. You're gonna find a lot of these people that are like kind of recognizable faces. Lena Headey wasn't necessarily huge before Game of Thrones, but now, and she was in 300 and stuff like that, but now she's Cersei Lannister. Like that's just who she is now. We'll probably see that. Tyrion Lannister too. Peter Dinklage was in a ton of stuff. But now he is Tyrion Lannister. We'll kind of see that happen, I think. They'll be in a lot of things, but then they'll really get known.
Okay.
All right, we got Godzilla fan over here. Let's talk about this. We have a new Godzilla anime coming up. It's in the works. They are stacking the freaking deck on this thing. So Studio Bones and Orange are working together to make this Godzilla anime universe. It'll be a whole universe that they're creating. This first one's going to be called Godzilla Singular Point, and it'll be an all-new story. Let me go over the talents involved in this thing, okay? So character design is going to be done by Kazu Kato from Blue Exorcist. The composer is done by Kan Sawada, who did like a lot of the Doraemon videos. Writing is being done by Japanese novelist To Enjo. And then the thing that's bringing down the house, the animation studio involved in this thing, is Studio Ghibli, who did Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke, which is freaking insane that they got those guys to do this. That's such a good sign. Squeaks, thoughts on this? What do you think, man?
It's pretty much mind blowing on how many of these big names are working on just one anime.
Yes.
Like what the hell is going on? And I don't know. It's got to be. It has to be somewhat of a passion to bring Godzilla to this huge. I don't know, like what it is, like the passion behind them or what they love about Godzilla. I don't know, but it's crazy to see so many of these big companies coming together for just one anime. Now, I know they had a Godzilla anime already. It was more, I think it had some 3D art to it, so it wasn't like true anime. Do we know if this one's going to be just straight true anime, or
from my understanding, this is going to be straight true anime? Yeah.
Okay.
What the one still they showed us was just straight up animation. Yeah.
Okay. the Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke, the Studio Ghibli. I'm gonna say that
Ghibli.
wrong.
Yeah,
Where
yeah, yeah, yeah. I probably
uh,
am saying it wrong too, but
those
we'll
movies
just
are
fake it till they make it.
fantastic and won so many awards.
Yeah,
So it is. Once you get to that point, like okay, this is who's here, who's here. Now you got some award-winning members working on the show, so it could only be great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're stacking the deck on this thing. I think it's their next Castlevania, right? Castlevania comes out. Even if you're not an anime fan, you're watching it. I think that's going to be what happens here, too. Even if you're not an anime fan, you're going to check this thing out. It has insane talent, and it has the name of Godzilla behind it. This is going to be really successful. I can guarantee it. Yeah.
Do you do we have a date, a somewhat leaked date or
No,
anything?
it is
Nothing.
insanely early in the production. It'll
Yeah.
be probably 2023, but because
Mhm.
the animation process takes a long time. But it'll be something
Yeah.
that we follow up. Any new casting or anything like that, we're gonna find out about it because I have a feeling they're gonna go pretty strong on even the dubbing casting, with this kind of talent order behind it. So they're probably gonna get some
Yeah.
good names behind this. I would
Nice.
suspect. All right, last bit of news we want to cover, guys. Doctor Strange is joining Spider-Man 3. So what does this mean? Let's talk about it here. We're probably talking about a multiverse, Spideyverse, right? Where we're gonna have different dimensions coming in. We already talked about Electro last week. The Jamie Foxx version is coming into this universe. And with Doctor Strange, we know he's tied with his own movie is called Multiverse or Madness of Multiverse, whatever, Multiverse Madness, whatever. So we're gonna have a lot of those shenanigans. Jonathan, do you think we're gonna be getting Tobey Maguire and Garfield in this world?
I think if they, I hope so. I think they should. I think that would be a fun little, cameo for the fans and a good way to just kind of pin those movies back and say, we're not reverting back to that. That's not a part of what we're doing, but that was done, and it gives you closure for those series, I guess. Like
Yeah.
now, those are technically part of the multiverse. It's just a universe we're not exploring anymore. But I think that's great. I think Spider-Man was always kind of the multiverse Marvel connection, right? Like he connected all the different types of universes, right? Between
Well,
like the
in the MCU versus with MCU and Sony, yeah, he was kind of this connective thread, which why Venom, is kind of this weird thing with Venom.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the Spider Verse movie itself was really good, and then we've always had kind of these Spider Verse situations where there's like different versions of Spider Man out there. But that's kind of the case with all of them in that case. But I think Spider Man's a great way to introduce it and really get people to be a fan of it, especially since the Spider Verse movie, the animation one, did it so well, won all
Yeah.
kinds of awards and really went over well.
Yeah, I think that the only downside is that whole debate or the whole dispute with Sony and everything. I hope they come to a concrete solution, either sell or buy or whatever, and we don't have to worry about that because Spider-Man is like the foundation of Marvel Comics. He's
Mhm.
a huge character,
Yeah,
and it sounds like he's a pivot point or foundation in their MCU. So if they're gonna dump more into him, invest more into his character, they need to have a concrete foundation under him and not worried that Sony's going to back out of a deal last minute.
you're right. They need to lock him down ASAP, because we've had that problem in the past where, we're done working together, and then we talked about it in the past. We'll bring it up again. Tom Holland, drunk, calls them up and was like, "Hey guys, we really need to get this worked out." And he actually kind of negotiated them to come back to the table and discuss it one night when he was partying. And it's just like, thank God he had a couple extra beers that night and saved Spider-Man. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Squeaks, what do you think's gonna come out of this deal with Doctor Strange?
I mean, honestly, I think we're gonna kind of get with the Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Pretty much was the live action. We need to see different types of Spider-Mans, even like different outfits of Spider-Man. Why not make him a different Spider-Man? Like we always see some of that punk rock Spider-Man with the spikes on
Yes.
the head.
yeah,
Why not just make that a different one? But I don't want to see so many Peter Parkers. I think that's unnecessary. I think we could get Tom Holland with Tobey Maguire. I don't need to see an Andrew.
Yeah.
But I do want to see like the Spider-Man Nori 2099,
Noir. Yeah,
stuff like that. Maybe Noir, yeah. But maybe like the Fantastic Four version of like when he was,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Now, also, I think this is going to expand to WandaVision because I know you kind of spoiled it for me last time we talked about
yeah,
WandaVision.
I think
I
so.
had
Yeah,
no clue that's where there was going.
yeah,
But now, with Doctor Strange having his own movie that's a multiverse, coming into Spider-Man to have different multiverse Spider-Mans, and then WandaVision version where they're in like some type of universe from Scarlet Witch. So I think that's the future of Marvel really looking right now. Just we're gonna see a team of 5 different Spider-Mans. I
Yeah,
mean, stuff like that.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
hate it. I mean, it worked really well in
Yeah.
Spider Verse, and Miles Morales is really popular right now, so it doesn't hurt to try to get him kind of worked
Yeah.
in. Yeah, and then we have Sinister Six kind of coming together as well with the Electro news from last week. So
Mm.
it can't hurt. And this kind of brings into the idea of like, is he going to be kind of a Tony Stark replacement in a way where he'll kind of give some like mentoring words and then be on his way. I think we can kind of see a lip of that too.
For Tom
Uh,
Holland's character, Tom
for
Holland
Doctor
Spider-Man.
Strange, I think Doctor Strange will come in and be like, these are what's going on with multiverse stuff. You're doing a good job, kid, and then bounce. Like he'll kind of be that mentor that'll hop in real quick and kind of give some kind words, like we've seen with Tony Stark and with Happy, both giving him like
Now,
kind
are
words.
we gonna? Do you predict that? Are we gonna see Spider-Man take over basically Tony Stark's
I
role?
I would be happy with something like that because there was that time when, yeah, when Spider-Man ran and funded the Avengers not very long ago. I liked that. I thought it was a really fun story and a good way to go. I would like to
Yeah,
see that.
because I'm currently reading one too where he is basically Tony Stark, but Spider-Man. He has all
Right.
these gadgets and bring the Spider-Man car. Where's that little
Yeah.
car at? Like from the
Yeah.
animated series.
Yeah. Well, and then
But
we have the Black
yeah,
Panther too, which also does like a lot of the physicals. So it'd be really cool to see those two work together. I'd like to see
yeah.
um, Black Panther's sister. I can't remember her name. Her,
Shira,
yeah,
Shira,
uh,
Princess.
yeah. I forget. Yeah, there's so many names. It's so hard. And working with Peter, and I think that'd be really fun to see what that would look like. I think that'd be really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. All right, that's it for us tonight, guys. We got it. We got a bunch of news for you, so it kind of ran long. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Um, Again, we're going to be closing down the Patreon because we're going fully ad supported, and we really appreciate all you guys' assistance. And we could have gotten this way without all of our cool patrons. But join us over on Discord. I know a lot of you guys already have, but join us on Discord. That's going to be our home for extra content and just talking geek stuff. That's what we do best. So meet us over there. That's going to be it for us, guys. You all have a wonderful week. On Friday, we have a new Level Up coming out. It's all about Knights of the Old Republic. It was a lot of fun to record. We just did that this morning. So we'll see you guys then. All right. Good night. Bye.
Bye.